Welcome to the fascinating world of the 1935 Mercury dime, a classic piece of American coinage rich in history and artistic beauty. Designed by Adolph A. Weinman, this iconic silver coin reflects a time of recovery during the Great Depression and symbolizes freedom, unity, and peace. While no official W mint mark exists for this year, genuine 1935 dimes from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco remain highly collectible and valuable. Let's explore the story, design, and worth of this remarkable coin. Top 6 First time. The 1935 Mercury dime with a W mint mark is a topic that needs a quick clarification first. No official Mercury dimes were ever minted with a W West Point mint mark in 1935. During the Mercury dime series 1960-1945, coins were only produced at 3 U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia no mint mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S. The West Point Mint did not strike circulating coinage with a W mint mark until much later, primarily starting in the 1980s and widely recognized in modern coins after 2019. So, if a 1935 dime appears with a W mint mark, it is likely either a modern alteration, private mint edition, or a misinterpretation, not an official U.S. mint issue. Full history, detailed explanation. Mercury dime, officially known as the Winged Liberty head dime, was introduced in 1916 as part of a broader effort to redesign U.S. coinage and bring more artistic beauty to everyday money. Designed by renowned sculptor Adolph A. Weinman, the coin replaced the older barber dime design. The obverse features a portrait of Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, but the public quickly nicknamed it the Mercury dime because the image resembles the Roman god Mercury. This design became one of the most beloved in American numismatic history due to its elegance and symbolic depth. By 1935, the United States was in the midst of recovering from the Great Depression, and coin production was influenced by economic conditions. Demand for coinage fluctuated, but by the mid-1930s the economy was stabilizing, and the U.S. Mint increased production to meet commercial needs. In that year, Mercury dimes were struck at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with significant mintages compared to earlier Depression-era years. These coins were composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving them intrinsic metal value along with collectible appeal. The reverse of the Mercury dime features a fasces, a bundle of rods with an axe, symbolizing unity and strength, combined with an olive branch representing peace. This powerful imagery reflected America's desire for both strength and peace during a turbulent global period leading up to World War II. The coin remained in circulation until 1945, when it was replaced by the Roosevelt dime to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt after his death. On the obverse, Liberty faces left, wearing a winged Phrygian cap. The word Liberty arcs along the edge, while In God We Trust appears to the lower left and the date 1935 is positioned at the bottom. Weinman's initials A are subtly placed near the neckline. The wings on Liberty's cap symbolize intellectual freedom, making the design both artistic and meaningful. The reverse showcases a vertical fasces tied with bands, representing unity and authority, alongside an olive branch to the right symbolizing peace. The inscriptions United States of America and one dime surround the central design, while the motto EPLURIBUSUNUM appears across the middle. On genuine coins, the mint mark, if present, is located on the reverse, near the bottom left of the fasces. Value and collectability. Since there is no official 1935 W Mercury dime, such a coin does not have recognized numismatic value as a legitimate mint issue. However, authentic 1935 Mercury dimes from real mints have the following approximate values. 1935 Philadelphia no mint mark. Around $3.10 in circulated condition and $20 100 plus in uncirculated grades, depending on quality. 1935 D Denver Mint. Typically $3.15 circulated and $30 150 plus uncirculated, with higher values for well-struck examples. 1935 S San Francisco Mint. Slightly more desirable, ranging from $4.20 circulated and $40 200 plus in mint condition. Coins with full bands FB on the fasces, meaning strong detail in the horizontal bands, can be significantly more valuable to collectors. Final note. If you have a 1935 dime with a W mint mark, it's important to have it examined by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. In most cases, it will turn out to be a non-mint alteration, but verification ensures accuracy. Authentic Mercury dimes remain highly collectible due to their silver content, historical importance, and timeless design. Next up, it looks like there's a small correction needed first. There is no official 1929 W mint mark Mercury dime. The W mint mark West Point Mint was not used on circulating dimes in 1929. In that year, Mercury dimes were only produced at Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S. If you have a coin with a W, it may be altered, misread, or from a different year. Now here is the complete history and detailed information about the 1929 Mercury dime. The Mercury dime, officially known as the Winged Liberty Head dime, was first introduced in 1916 as part of a broader effort by the United States Mint to redesign its coinage and bring more artistic beauty to everyday currency. By 1929, the coin had already been in circulation for over a decade and had become a familiar piece of American money during a time of major economic change. The year 1929 is especially significant in U.S. history because it marks the beginning of the Great Depression, following the stock market crash in October. As a result, coin production numbers in the late 1920s and early 1930s were often influenced by reduced economic activity and lower demand for new coins. The coin was designed by renowned sculptor Adolph A. Weinman, who aimed to represent freedom of thought through the image of liberty wearing a winged cap. Although many people call it the Mercury dime because the design resembles the Roman god Mercury, it actually depicts Lady Liberty, symbolizing intellectual freedom and progress. By 1929, the design remained unchanged, continuing to reflect the artistic excellence of early 20th century American coinage. In terms of minting, the 1929 Mercury dime was struck at 3 different mints: Philadelphia no mint mark, Denver 1929 D, and San Francisco 1929 S. The Philadelphia mint produced the highest number of coins, while the Denver and San Francisco issues had lower mintages, making them more desirable to collectors today. Coins from this period were composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, giving them intrinsic value beyond their face value. Because of the economic conditions of the time, many of these coins saw heavy circulation, which means high-grade examples are relatively scarce today. The obverse front of the 1929 Mercury dime features a left-facing portrait of Liberty wearing a winged cap. The word Liberty is inscribed along the edge, while the motto In God We Trust appears to the left of the neck, and the year 1929 is positioned at the bottom. The wings on Liberty's cap symbolize freedom of thought, making the design both symbolic and visually striking. The reverse back of the coin displays a fasces, which is a bundle of rods with an axe representing strength and unity. Alongside the fasces is an olive branch symbolizing peace. The inscriptions include United States of America, 1 dime, and the motto EPLURIBUSUNUM. The mint mark, if present D or S, can be found on the reverse near the bottom left of the fasces. The value of a 1929 Mercury dime depends greatly on its condition and mint mark. Because the coin contains silver, even worn examples have a base value tied to the silver market. 1929 no mint mark Philadelphia usually ranges from $3 to $25+ depending on condition. 1929 D Denver, slightly more valuable, often $5 to $40+, with higher values for well-preserved coins. 1929 S San Francisco, more desirable due to lower mintage, typically $5 to $60+ and much higher in uncirculated grades. Coins in uncirculated mint state condition or those with strong details, especially the full bands on the fasces, can be worth hundreds of dollars. Rare, high-grade specimens graded by professional services may even reach higher prices at auctions. The 1929 Mercury dime is not only a piece of silver currency, but also a historical artifact from the beginning of one of the most challenging economic periods in American history. Its beautiful design, silver composition, and connection to the Great Depression era make it highly appealing to collectors. However, remember that a W mintmark version does not officially exist for 1929, so any such coin should be carefully examined for authenticity. Next up, the 1940 Mercury dime Winged Liberty Head dime is one of the most interesting coins from the early 20th century United States, although it's important to clarify that there is no official W mintmark for 1940 Mercury dimes. In 1940, Mercury dimes were only struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia no mint mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S. The W mint mark West Point was not used for circulating dimes until much later in U.S. coinage history. So if you see a 1940 W dime, it is either a misunderstanding, altered coin, or not authentic. The Mercury dime series was designed by the famous sculptor Adolph A. Weinman and was first introduced in 1916, replacing the barber dime. The coin was created during a time when the United States wanted more artistic and symbolic coin designs. The obverse features a portrait often mistaken for the Roman god Mercury, but it actually represents Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought and liberty of mind. The reverse shows a fasces bundle of rods with an axe, representing unity and strength, along with an olive branch symbolizing peace. This combination reflects America's desire for both strength and peace, especially during the tense pre-World War II era. By 1940, the United States was emerging from the Great Depression and moving toward economic recovery, while global tensions were rising due to World War II in Europe. The demand for coinage increased as economic activity picked up, which is why millions of mercury dimes were produced that year. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 112 million coins, Denver produced about 21 million, and San Francisco minted around 21 million as well. These relatively high mintages make the 1940 dime common compared to earlier rare dates in the series. In terms of design details, the obverse displays Liberty facing left, with the word Liberty along the edge and the motto In God We Trust. The date 1940 appears at the bottom. On the reverse, the fasces is centered vertically, with the words United States of America and 1 dime and the motto EPLURIBUSUNUM placed to the right. The mint mark, if present D or S, is located on the reverse near the bottom left of the fasces. Regarding value, a 1940 mercury dime is generally affordable unless it is in exceptional condition. In circulated condition, it is usually worth around $2 to $5, mainly for its silver content 90% silver. In uncirculated mint state condition, the value can range from $10 to $50+ depending on quality and luster. Coins with full bands FB on the fasces, where the horizontal bands are clearly defined, are more valuable and can reach $100 or more in high grades. Rare errors or exceptionally preserved specimens can fetch even higher prices at auctions. In conclusion, the 1940 mercury dime is a beautiful and historically rich coin that represents both artistic excellence and a significant period in American history. However, collectors should be cautious about claims of a 1940 W mint mark, as such a coin does not officially exist in U.S. mint records. Next up, the 1999 P. Roosevelt dime is part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series, which was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt shortly after his death in 1945. Roosevelt was widely respected for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and he was also closely associated with the March of Dimes campaign, which fought against polio, a disease he personally battled. The decision to place Roosevelt on the dime replaced the earlier Mercury winged Liberty head design, marking a shift toward commemorating modern American figures. By 1999, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for over 5 decades, continuing as a symbol of stability and continuity in U.S. coinage. The P mint mark on the 1999 dime indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most important minting facilities in the United States. Interestingly, Philadelphia coins did not always carry a mint mark. It was only in 1980 that the P mint mark began appearing on dimes. In 1999, the Philadelphia Mint produced a very large number of dimes, over 1.3 billion pieces, making the 1999 P dime extremely common in circulation. These coins were struck primarily for everyday use, and as a result, they can still be easily found in pocket change even today. In terms of design, the obverse front of the 1999 P dime features a left-facing portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by Chief Engraver John R. Sinek. The inscriptions include Liberty to the left, In God We Trust below the chin, and the date 1999 along with the P mint mark to the right of the portrait. Sinek's initials, JS, appear near the truncation of Roosevelt's neck. The reverse back displays a central torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. The inscriptions United States of America, EPLURIBUSUNUM, and 1 dime complete the design, reflecting the core values of the nation. From a composition standpoint, the 1999 P. Roosevelt dime is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. The coin has a diameter of 17.91 mm and a reeded edge. This composition has been standard for U.S. dimes since 1965, when silver was removed from circulating coinage due to rising metal costs. As a result, the intrinsic metal value of the 1999 P dime is very low, and its worth is primarily based on its face value and condition rather than precious metal content. In terms of value, a typical 1999 P dime in circulated condition is worth its face value of 10 cents. Even in uncirculated mint state condition, these coins are usually only worth between 20 cents and $2, depending on their grade and overall quality. However, exceptionally well-preserved examples graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services can sometimes sell for $10 to $50 or more, especially if they have strong luster and no visible marks. Additionally, error coins, such as those with off-center strikes, double dies, or other minting anomalies, can carry significantly higher values, sometimes reaching hundreds of dollars depending on the rarity and demand. Overall, the 1999 P. Roosevelt dime is not considered a rare or highly valuable coin, but it holds importance as part of everyday American currency and the long-standing Roosevelt series. For collectors, it may serve as a common yet essential piece in completing a date and mint set, and it also represents the modern era of U.S. coinage with its durable clad composition and historically significant design. Next up, the 2018 D. Roosevelt dime is a modern United States 10-cent coin struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small D mint mark located just above the date on the obverse side. This coin is part of the long-running Roosevelt dime series, which was first introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt shortly after his death in 1945. Roosevelt was deeply associated with the March of Dimes campaign, which aimed to combat polio, making the dime a meaningful tribute to his legacy. By 2018, the Roosevelt dime had already become one of the most familiar and widely circulated coins in U.S. currency, continuing a design that has remained largely unchanged for decades. The coin was designed by chief engraver John R. Sinek, whose initials JS can still be seen on the obverse. The front obverse features a left-facing portrait of President Roosevelt, along with the inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 2018. On the reverse side, the design includes a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch symbolizing strength and independence. The inscriptions United States of America, EPLURIBUSUNUM, and one dime are also present. The coin is composed of a clad composition 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel, as silver was removed from dimes after 1964 due to rising metal costs. Historically, the 2018 D-dime was produced during a period of stable U.S. coinage with high mintages intended for everyday circulation. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of these dimes, making them extremely common in circulation. These coins were not made with any special commemorative purpose, but rather as part of the regular production to meet economic demand. Because of this, most 2018 D-dimes are still found in pocket change and bank rolls today, showing varying levels of wear depending on how long they have circulated. In terms of value, a 2018 D. Roosevelt dime generally holds its face value of 10 cents when found in circulated condition. Even in uncirculated mint state condition, its value typically ranges from 25 cents to $1, depending on its grade and overall quality. However, coins that are in exceptionally high grades, such as MS-67 or higher, or those with special characteristics like full torch bands, often referred to as full bands or FB designation, can be worth $5 to $20 or more to collectors. Error coins, such as those with off-center strikes or die errors, can also carry higher premiums depending on rarity and demand. Overall, the 2018 D-dime is not considered rare, but it remains an important part of modern U.S. coinage and a continuation of a historically significant series. For beginner collectors, it represents an accessible entry point into numismatics, while for advanced collectors, finding a perfectly preserved example with strong strike details can still be a rewarding challenge. Next up, the 1995 D. Roosevelt dime is a modern United States coin that, while very common in circulation, still carries historical significance as part of one of America's longest-running coin series. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, to honor his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his strong association with the March of Dimes campaign, which helped combat polio. By 1995, the design had already been in use for nearly 5 decades, making it a familiar and widely recognized piece of American currency. The D mint mark on the 1995 dime indicates that it was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the major coin-producing facilities in the United States. In terms of design, the obverse front of the 1995 D. Roosevelt dime features a left-facing portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by chief engraver John R. Sinek. The inscriptions "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year 1995 are clearly visible around the portrait, along with the small D mint mark located just above the date. On the reverse back, the coin displays a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength and independence. The inscriptions United States of America, 1 dime, and EPLURBUSUNUM surround these elements. The composition of the coin is a clad mixture, consisting of a pure copper core with outer layers of copper nickel, giving it durability for everyday use. The historical context of the 1995 D-dime reflects a stable period in U.S. coin production, with high mintages to meet the needs of a growing economy. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of dimes that year, making the 1995 D one of the more common issues in the Roosevelt series. Because of this high production, the coin is still frequently found in circulation today, often with signs of wear from everyday use. Unlike earlier silver dimes minted before 1965, the 1995 D-dime does not contain any precious metal, which significantly affects its collectible value. When it comes to value, the 1995 D Roosevelt dime is generally worth its face value of 10 cents in circulated condition. However, uncirculated examples, those that have never been used in everyday transactions, can be worth slightly more, typically ranging from 50 cents to a few dollars depending on their condition and luster. Coins graded at the highest levels, such as MS-67 or higher, can command premium prices among collectors, sometimes reaching $10 to $50 or more. Additionally, error coins such as those with off-center strikes, double dies, or other minting anomalies can be significantly more valuable, depending on the rarity and visibility of the error. Overall, the 1995 D Roosevelt dime may not be rare or highly valuable in most cases, but it remains an important part of modern U.S. coinage. For collectors, it represents consistency in design and production, as well as a continuation of the legacy of President Roosevelt. Whether found in pocket change or preserved in a coin collection, this dime reflects both historical tribute and the everyday practicality of American currency.